Does your child struggle to learn their multiplication facts? If your answer is yes, then this video is for you. I am sharing 5 tips or 5 strategies to use to help your child learn multiplication. My name is Kathleen, by the way, and I'm a dyslexic here to help other dyslexics. I help busy, overwhelmed parents understand their child's frustration with dyslexia so they can support, encourage, and empower their child. Growing up as a dyslexic, learning my multiplication facts was extremely difficult. Rote memorization and just using flashcards did not work for me. What did work was using a multisensory approach to learning. So I used multiple senses at the exact same time to learn the information. And in fact, it's something that's not around anymore, but I had a cassette player that would play and wrap all of the multiplication facts together. And so with that, I would hear them. And then I also kind of got to dance around. So I was using 2 types of sensory activity to make it multisensory to learn it. And looking back on the things that I learned that for me, when I learned the best was actually when I was moving. And so movement comes into play for me more when I want to learn something quickly, something that is very difficult. So you might want to keep that in mind. So multisensory is doing multiple sensory activities at the exact same time. So seeing, hearing, either touching or moving, kinesthetics. And so keep that in mind when you're trying to help your child learn big things like this, multiplication. So I have 5 tips for you that I am going to share. The first tip is a dice game. So just find 2 random dice you have laying around from like a board game or something in your house. And what you can do is sit down with your child and y'all roll and play a multiplication game. And so the first dice is the first number, the second dice is the second number. This will help you practice 1 through 6. It's not going to give you all of them, but it is a good base and a fun way to start. And so you can even have your child get up and move around as they say their facts. So let's say we roll the dice. The first one is 2, the second one is 6. 2 times 6 is 12. And you can rap it out, they can sing it out, they can do whatever they want, but they're seeing the numbers. It would be even better if you have the number dice instead of like the dots. But whatever you have works, and that is a fun tip and trick to use to make multiplication a little bit more fun, is to create a game. Tip number 2 is also another game. So just get a pack of playing cards and go ahead and take out all of the kings and queens and jacks and aces and all that stuff, and just have the numbers. And go ahead and play war as a multiplication game. And so you turn over a card, your child turns over a card, whoever multiplies it together correctly gets it. Instead of who has the higher number wins, it's whoever multiplies it together. So let's say one person turns over a 3, the other person turns over a 10. 3 times 10 is 30. The person who says that gets the cards. Another fun, simple tip to work with, and these are great to kind of do in the evenings when it's summertime and you're not spending as much time at school and homework and things like that. Tip number 3 is teach the multiplication facts in this order. So we're going to start with 1s, then go to 2s, then 5s, followed by 10s and 11s. Then jump back down to 9s because I have a fun way to teach 9s, followed by 0s, 3s, 4, 6, 7, and 8. And if you do it in that order, you can continue to increase your child feeling confident about it because you teach the easy ones first and then we work on the more difficult ones. But when you start looking at the more difficult ones, you've already started to learn half of those with the ones that are easier. So it just is kind of a snowball effect when it comes to learning them, and they learn them faster. Tip number 4 goes along with the multisensory. So when you are doing these things and working with your child on learning the facts, go ahead and have them move around. So you could have like a simple whiteboard, write the facts on it, or do the game, and then have them move around. So the more you have them move around and kind of act it out or rap it out or sing it out, the easier the facts become to memorize it. Because I know for me, I still to this day actually use the rap that I heard from the tapes. So we kind of did it in like a beat form. So we're beating and we're moving at the same time. So 3 times 3 is 9. And do it really quickly, or you can slow it down and go 3 times 3 is 9. So get moving and kind of sing it or dance it, and those songs are going to stick in their head more than just looking at flashcards. Tip number 5 is array multiplication cards. These are my absolute favorite. I came up with these cards once I learned about arrays when I was teaching and doing my student teaching. I just fell in love with the idea of an array because to me it made it so multisensory. So if you are going to do cards, I would recommend doing these. And so let me show them to you. I have a video that I've done in the past that I'm going to go ahead and link right here for you, or right here, that you can watch. That's just a quick, simple array. But basically, you're making the multiplication fact visual. And so we've got 3 going across because 3 is the first number, and 7 going down. And so this way they can touch, they can see, and they can hear it all at the same time. So I would run my fingers. If you wanted to count every single one, you can touch them however you want. So you can go 3 times 7 is 21. So you've got the texture here. You are hearing it auditory. You are seeing it, seeing the whole thing. And so these help, and you could have them up moving around as they touch the cards. Another example here is 1 times 6. So you've got 1 and you've got 6 going down. 1 times 6 is 6. And so the 1 times tables are easy, but they're tricky at the same time because your child is so used to doing addition. So 1 plus 6 is 7, where we have to retrain them that 1 times 6 is 6. These cards do take some time to make, but I recommend them. I have made them several times for several students. So all you need to do is go to the craft store and buy little pom-poms, then get index cards. I recommend, because by the time you get to 12 times 12, there's a lot of pom-poms on there. So I would recommend buying the bigger cards, either 4 by 6, or if you can find 5 by 7, I would totally recommend that. Or you could buy cardstock and just cut it in half. Whatever is easiest for you. Storing these also is a problem because they don't stack just right. And so I would just stick them in like a sandwich baggie and label which ones they are. That is how I stored, and that's how I store all of mine, just as a quick tip to help you with this. It does take some time to make them, but to me, the time is definitely worth it because you are helping your child learn in a multisensory way with a concept that is very, very difficult. Here is the bonus tip, the 9 times table. I love the 9 times table because you always have the answers at your fingertips. Yep, that's right. So I'm going to show you how to do this. You've got 10 fingers and you're just going to count whatever it is. So let's say we're doing 9 times 2. So what you're going to do is you're going to count and you're going to put the 2 finger down. So you're going to go 9 times 2, and this is the tens, and this is the ones. So we've got 1 here, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. So 2 times 9 is 18. And you can see it on your fingers. Let's do another one. Let's do 9 times 5. So you hold up your fingers, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So we've got 4 in the tens place, 4. And we've got 5 at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 45. Pretty cool. And it works for every single one until you get to like, it doesn't work because we don't have 11 fingers and 12 fingers. But for the first few, it does work. You still have to memorize 9 times 0 is 0, and then 9 times 10 is 90. But the rest of them, you have it right here in your fingers, and it helps all of my students. I love sharing this tip with them because they get to use their fingers. It becomes multisensory and fun in a different way. So 9 times table becomes really easy because they're always at your fingertips. Those are my 5 tips with a bonus tip for multiplication. I hope that gives you ideas to help your child learn more about multiplication and encourage them to know that it's not just them struggling with it, that this is something that lots of people have struggled to learn. And my best tips are just make it fun and reward when they do learn a specific set. So every time they learn a new, like the 1 times table, reward them. When they learn the 2 times table, reward them. Encourage them to learn, and it will be worth it in the end. So thank you so much. If you like these tips and you would like more multiplication tips, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I am in the process of working on something to further help dyslexics learn their multiplication facts, and that project I'm hoping to roll out at the end of July. I have a project that I'm currently working on that I want to come out first, and it's very top secret, and I can't wait to share it with you. But I do have lots of projects in the work to help your children, and I can't wait to share more information about that. But if you are struggling to understand dyslexia, go ahead and sign up for my newsletter. Grab my freebie dyslexia guide. It gives you information to help you better understand dyslexia, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye, guys.